I was a rebel, and being a nice Jewish boy, there are ways of being a rebel, and there are other ways of being a rebel. And my way of being a rebel was not to steal hubcaps or beat up old ladies, but do something that my family wouldn't approve of. I got hung up with the music when I was 13, and it was like my release. It was my place to be. I started collecting records, and I became, obsessed with it.
You may not recognize that name. Most people in jazz who listen to jazz music don't. But his credits are unbelievable. Signal Records, Prestige Records, MPS, Cobblestone, RCA, Onyx, Muse, and what was his vision, Xanadu. I can't go to a record store and browse the bins without being constantly reminded of the gigantic footprint that this man has left on the music. He is clearly one of the architects of jazz.
I found that I could do this, and I found that I could do it good.
The Xanadu Master Edition series is, of course, a celebration of this great period in jazz music from 1975 to 1990. Back in the winter of 2013, my friend and Elemental Music partner, Jordi Soley, and I were having lunch and talking about trying to find very important out-of-print jazz record labels that needed to be reissued. At a certain point, I digressed and told Jordi about an experience I had recently had meeting Don Schlitten at his home in Kingsbridge, New York. And that's when Jordi stopped me mid-sentence and said, "Zev, that's it. Xanadu Records. We gotta reissue Xanadu Records."
I said, "Would you like to do this kind of a record? Or would you like to sign up with Xanadu?" I said, "Look," I said, "you know who I am." I said, "I cannot promise you big bucks." I said, "All I can tell you is that we're going to make some good music. You want to come with me?" Some came, some didn't.
As the project got underway back in 2012, we were hit with some bad news. Hurricane Sandy flooded tape archives, which housed the original master reel tapes for the Xanadu Master Edition series. Unfortunately, some of the tapes were destroyed or seriously damaged. The reels, what they call, pancaked themselves, many of which were submerged in water, completely unraveled. We brought in a company called The Media Preserved to clean and restore the salvageable reels and make new tape transfers where possible. Unfortunately, all the album artwork and negatives were destroyed in the flood, so I went into my personal collection of LPs and had the albums drum scanned here in Los Angeles, and our designer, Simon Sviard, made them look brand new again. It was an arduous process having to recreate all the assets, but we were on a mission, not just to save the music, but the whole concept of Xanadu Records as Don Schlitten envisioned it. We're proud to say that we now consider these classic albums to be the definitive versions with new liner notes by prestigious British jazz journalist Mark Gardner, and we've also restored and remastered the artwork and audio. It's really exciting to present this series. This is a very personal thing for me, as I've gotten the great fortune of knowing Don and his wife and working with Don on this series. This was something that he worked with me on, supervising the layout and the package. What an honor. It's just really a great thrill for me, and I hope that we could say now that we've preserved this music for generations to come.